everyone, welcome to the episode 2 of Maeve Mooney live streams. So today yesterday what we did was we sketched and line arted this piece of art based on this sketch that I did on my iPad. And today what we're going to do is we're going to color it using these watercolors. And a fun extra thing that we're doing in order to make this work is I have this app on my phone that can mimic what it's like to be various kinds of colorblind, so that this art will look good no matter what kind of vision you have. So I'm going to start actually by using this masking fluid. It's a masking fluid pen. You gotta shake it up real good first. And what it does is when you put it on your paper and wait for it to dry and then paint over it and then rub it off using this rubber cement pickup, it will leave the space behind just like it's just the page. It's just white. So I'm going to use this to make those clouds that we left unlined yesterday so that we could, hello light table, do this. And what you're going to want to do is pump it so that you can get a nice bit of it out. And I'm going to make these nice puffy clouds. Shout out to Clouded Mentalities, who this illustration is for. And Clouded Mentalities, I'm the lead animator there, is this wonderful nonprofit spreading awareness of mental health and all that good stuff. So I'm just making some clouds. And it comes out blue so that you can see it against the page. There's other masking fluids which can be clear or even like this nice peachy orange color. But I like this because it's in pen form, so it's easier for me to control. And I don't have to ruin any brushes in order to put it on the page. Okay, and now we have a cloud. And let's put another little one back here. Make it a little wispier. And another one up here. And I hope you guys are having a good time here, because I'm enjoying doing this. I don't have anyone here yet. That's okay. You'll see me in the future. You people watching this recording in Futureland. I hope you are having fun doing whatever it is you're doing while I make this stream, or while you watch this stream. And you've got a nice couple of clouds here. Let's put one over here as well. And I'm going for this kind of like flat-bottomed cumulonimbus, fluffy kind. Apologies if I mispronounced cumulonimbus. See, I can't even say it a second time. I got lucky that first time. Cumulonimbus. There we go. I think I pronounced that right. I'm good at mispronouncing words. A lot of the times what I'll do is I'll read a word so I don't hear it, so I don't know what the word is and what it's spelled like and what it means, but I don't know how it's pronounced, and then, yeah. But that's okay, because I have lots of people who can tell me how to pronounce it right. When they hear me, they're like, Maeve, what is that word you just said? Did you mean this word? And I'm like, oh, is that how it's pronounced? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. And then I'll try to pronounce it right. Right now, this is looking kind of like a reverse sky, isn't it? With the blue clouds and the white sky. I think this is turning out well. Another little one over here. There. Okay, I'm gonna try shaking this up again to think maybe stuff is separating in there. There we go, that's better. Oh, hold on, let me turn on, I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb mode on my iPad. There we go. And let's just, there we go, now I have my references back up. We got some nice happy clouds here. Let's get another little one over here. I think one last one for in the back. I think I want most of the back to be blue, actually. And then one over up here, you think? Big white puffy cloud. I'm gonna shake it again. Yeah. One more, I think. All the way up here. And I might, get rid of some of these clouds later. I might decide that I want the sky to have less clouds in it. But for now, we are putting them in, and I think it's looking good. What do you guys think? I don't have anyone yet. That's okay. I'm a beginner. This is only my second stream. This isn't even my final form. Mwahaha. Little bits of it keep getting stuck to the tip of the pen. I think what's happening is this stuff is drying before I can finish drawing the clouds with it. Okay, so let's say I think, you think that's enough clouds? Or should I put one here? I think I'll leave that blank for now. And while all this is drying, let's paint in some of this. So I've got my favorite paintbrush, which is a Princeton Velvet Touch Round number 4. I like the Princeton brushes because I like the Velvet Touch brushes because they're cheap and really good. So before we choose our color, let's go into our Colorblind app and look at them with all the colors. So what I see is that I think this might be a good color for the ground. So let's do that. This nice, like, dried tan earth ground. I like the coloring. It's nice. I'm sorry if I'm being a little quiet. I enjoy making colors happen on a painting. Because the color, that's where all your depth and texture and life comes from. So it makes something pop. There's a lot of ground here. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Well, there's no one here to enjoy this but me. That's okay. I'm enjoying this. There's something calming about painting in watercolors, isn't there? I know a lot of people who think that watercolors are hard. And I can see why. It was hard for me too at first. You kind of can't really control watercolors all the way. But I kind of like that about it, you know? Like, you can do all kinds of things with it because it's just a little bit unpredictable, and it adds something to it. and it's transparent, so you can't exactly like go back and fix things really easily if you really want to. You kind of have to just, if a color ends up where you don't want it, you just kind of have to roll with the punches and figure out how to make that work in the composition anyway. And I'm making the paint a little bit thicker inside the tents because there's going to be shade in them, so it's a little bit darker. And a little bit thinner outside the tents because there's sunlight shining down on them. Here, I'll bring this up so you guys can see the whole thing. Guys, my backup paint's falling down a little bit on me. So I've got my main palette, which actually, let me see what this is, if you want to follow along. This is a Grumbacher Deluxe Opaque Watercolors set, number WCO24. That's fun. And this is sort of my go-to set. But I've also got some backup sets. I've got some, a couple of Renag oval watercolor sets. And they're fine for like backups. But they're a little bit sticky. So I don't like them as much. And I've also got a Chroma Blends Pearlescent watercolor set. And this set that I'm using here already has a gold and a silver, which are both like metallic watercolors. But they don't have any other metallic colors, so I got this just in case I wanted any more shiny colors. I don't think that this is going to have a whole lot of sparkles in it though, because it's a fair. It comes in lots of bright colors, but most of them are matte. So I don't think that sparkles will really add much to it, but I could be wrong, which is why I brought this. It's always a good idea to prepare for any and all eventualities. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm going back over the shaded parts and adding a bit more watercolor to those so that these tents have a little bit of extra color in there. And you'll notice what I'm doing now is I put a lot of watercolor in here. So what I'm doing is I'm using that as my paint well for now. And there, so that I can get some of the color out of there and into here where I need it more. but I took as much color from that as I wanted to, so I'm going back to the paint pans now. And I'm going to try and make this part really dark because it's close to the camera. And this part too, I think needs a bit more. And now let's add some under the sign. There we go. Now let's test. This is still a little bit sticky, so I'm not going to do the sky quite yet. I think instead what I'm going to do now is the trees. So let's pull up our colorblind app again and see what's what. What would look good for these trees? I think this color will look good on the trees, and a little bit of this. So this is a very vibrant but slightly bluer green, and this is a very vibrant but slightly yellower green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with, actually no, I'm gonna start with my vibrant yellow green to get a nice like base for the trees. Yeah. I'm gonna paint just the underside of them for now. Because then when I go back over it later, it'll make this nice little shading effect. It's almost like cell shading, but it's watercolor, so there's some extra texture to it. Because this is a cartoon, and we gotta remember that. And hopefully it'll look nice with the characters and the props and all that when everything's all together. So I don't want to go too detailed with the background design, so that it'll match stylistically. Oh, so this just looks nice, I think. I think what I'm going to do is set this Velvet Touch down for now, and I'm going to pick up my, what is this? A Citadel Layer 5 paintbrush, which is much smaller. To like get to these trees are a lot smaller. And we got another little pool of color here, which I'm going to draw from, to draw some of that color away from here and into where it needs to be. That's the thing with watercolor, it can pull on you sometimes. But that's okay, because then you've got a nice little paint well right there on your page for you to pull out whenever you want. Now what I'm doing is I'm going back over some of the other ones because they've dried a little bit, and I want them to still have that nice dark undertone to them. And then while that's still mostly wet, I'm going to come in with my blue or green and add some pop to it. Maybe I'll use some of this lighter green too. Yeah, that's looking good. What I'm doing now is I'm taking a napkin and I'm going to splotch this up a bit. So we get those nice lighter tones that we want. Watercolor will do this sometimes. It'll get away from you and you can like come in and do stuff to it to make it go back to what you want. And it's nice. I think it's nice. I like doing trees. Trees are a bit unpredictable and they're very green usually, and there's so much unique texture to them, and I like that. And watercolor is going to inevitably have some texture to it. That's kind of why you choose it. Other than, you know, it's cheap paint. If you want to get into really nice, good art, but you're very cheap, watercolor is a good solution. I used to use Copic markers myself for a lot of my traditional art like this, but that got really expensive. I still have like a cajillion of them, but I like watercolors more now because you can do all these cool effects with watercolors that you can't really do with Copic markers unless you're being really liberal with like the blank pen where it's just like alcohol. And we're doing little trees now. And it's looking nice and happy. I think maybe we should go back to our little brush for these little guys. Oh yeah, yeah, like that. That's looking nice. I know that everyone on YouTube says this, but I do really hope that I get more people here watching me do this later, because I think it's more fun to do things with other people than it is to do stuff all just on your own. But I won't get more people until I do this a lot, I think. And that's okay. You know? Sometimes you can just do stuff on your own, and it's cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I like that a lot. Let's bring some darker stuff in here and do a little guys. What I did just then was I dabbed my paintbrush against our little fabricy guy so that it wasn't just so I can spread this stuff around in a more controlled way. I think I'm gonna, oh yeah. Sometimes you just want a slightly drier brush. Get some more blue in there. And then, strategic jab. There we go. I think these trees are turning out very nice. I like them. Look at that. Look at those trees. They're so green and poofy. I like them. Okay. So the clouds seem like they're a lot drier now, but the trees I only just did. And we don't want the trees green to bleed into the sky too much in a like uncontrolled way. So, let me check something real quick here. Okay, so I think what I want to do is checking my colors with my little app. Oh, and that's looking nice. That's looking nice, I think. I think what I want to do is I want to use some of this like slightly greenish brown to do some of these legs here. So I think, yeah, that's dry. I'm going to stick with my little brush. I think that wants to be slightly warmer brown. I'm giving this sign a wooden frame. And then I'll leave this blank. I don't know why if I want to keep it white or make it black like it's a blackboard. I think maybe I'll just leave it white, and then if my coworker wants to make it a blackboard, she can do that later. We've got our little wooden sign frame coming to life here. I like that. Let's check it on the app. Yeah, that's a nice contrast. You can't see it very well. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's get these poles in now. Little legs. I'm still keeping with my little brush because they're very thin. And I think once we're done with these legs, we can go into the sky. Because I think that our trees and our clouds are going to be fully dry when I'm done with these legs. You'll notice what I'm doing is I'm like, doing each bit kind of separately. Because watercolor tends to bleed a lot if you're not careful with it. So it's nice to leave a little bit of to kind of hop around and do the parts that, don't touch each other first. Bit of like a bit of puzzle. You gotta be smart about it. Think about it. And that one doesn't have any visible legs, so I'm gonna skip it. Very, very careful. There we go. That one's so thin, I'm gonna dry off my brush a bit, then go in, and there we are. Ah. It's a nice dark brown. This is looking nice. That's the last of our legs. And I'm going to take a small water break. Ah. Important to stay hydrated. Now I think that the trees and clouds are clean. So let's do our sky. We're going back to our big velvet touch brush. And let's check on our colorblind app. Those legs have a nice contrast with the ground, but they look like this. The legs here look like the same color as the trees, almost in the Protanopex and Deuteranope. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Forms of color blindness. So I'm going to try when I do the tents later on to make that a completely different color than the trees and the legs. So let's see if there's a blue that'll contrast nicely with those trees. So it looks like this blue will, oh, that's almost the same color as these in the tritanope form of color blindness. I think I might go with it anyway, and then just like make efforts to make it feel lighter. Yeah, if I do this plus this into that sky, and that'll look really nice in the protanopex and deuteranope forms of color blindness, even if it'll get a little bit lost in the tritanope form of color blindness. But I'm going to try to make it so that my values are different enough that you can still see it. And that's the thing, you gotta account for all different kinds of factors in your art. And it's hard. Difficult. It's a fun design challenge, but I think it's important, you know? So let's get some of this nice powdery blue in here. Oh, we're gonna need some of this. I think I'm gonna add a bit of this too. Okay. Maybe I should add some of this slightly purpley blue. And that'll, yeah. Yeah! That's a sky. Look at that. And it's turning out to look a lot, it's like the same color as my masking fluid. But just remember, we're going to rub that away later, so it'll be white underneath. I'm giving this sky a lot of tones in it, like some slightly greenish blues, some slightly purplish blues, some slightly, you know, just a mix of all different kinds of blues, some slightly powdery blues. To make a nice textured, varied sky, because the sky is pretty unpredictable, isn't it? Like people say, oh, the sky is blue, but what kind of blue? You've got all different colors in there. Even on a nice, clear day with white, fluffy clouds, you've got, you know, and it's watercolor, so you want to have some variance in tone. And I might go over this, and I'm trying to make this sky really light, because I might go over it again once we rub away our clouds. To make the clouds, like, you know, some of them blend in a little bit more, so it's not so stark. And let's bring some of our color into here. Into our little Ferris wheel. And you can see I'm mixing the colors almost like on the page instead of separately. And I like doing that because it makes a lot of nice variety in there. And I feel like it's more effective in some ways, for me personally. You can do it however you want. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponge some of that up. Get a nice texture to our sky. Very light. And let's check our color blindness app to see how it looks to all different kinds of people. Oh, that's looking nice. Still kind of, the sky and the trees are still kind of blending together in the tritanope kind of color blindness. But maybe what I'll do later is I'll add a bit more yellow to the trees so that they're a bit more easy to tell apart. But it's looking so nice in all the other kinds of colors vision. And I think that, you know, it's not just important to accommodate for different disabilities because, you know, all different you want those different kinds of people to see and appreciate your work. But I also think that it leads to better design because then you're accounting for a lot of things that you may not notice with just normal color vision. You might not notice like how the value difference can make certain parts of the composition as a whole stand out better. I'm sponging this all up a little bit. And a nice sky. Color check. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's looking awesome. I wonder if there's a way to... Bit of yellow in those trees. Or maybe in the sky? Should I put a bit of yellow in the trees or the sky? I think in the trees, because trees are already they're already green. Let's bring out that greenness. And some yellow. And I think that'll make the trees pop more anyway, you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's making it more vibrant. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, you know? Like some things that you can't see that will make it look better. Like making these trees a little bit yellow, it's making them pop so much more. It's adding a nice layer of texture that I didn't even think about. And it's making it look like they're glowing in the sunlight, almost. And let's bring in a bit more green here just to make sure that we're keeping our value tones consistent. I'm gonna sponge up a bit. Yeah! Oh my gosh! Yes! Let's get some orange in there. Keep it green. Oh my goodness, yes. And like, I wouldn't have thought to do this if I hadn't checked, you know? Look how good that is. Oh, and let's check our little app here. See how that's turning out. Oh yeah! Oh, that stands out so much better in every kind of the vision. And it's still like, you know, disappearing a little bit in the tritone note kind, but because we're focusing on making the values more stark, it's popping out more anyway. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I need to get you guys a better webcam. But oh my gosh. And it's little things like this that just make it so much better and brighter and And let's go to our little brush and add some dark green here. Let's dry it off a bit so we don't get too many cool. Oh, still cold. Sometimes it just happens. It's fine. But yeah, I highly encourage you, if you're making art and you feel like something's not quite popping enough, or even just, you know, in general when you're making art, to check it in to check it with different kinds of color vision, check it with a black and white filter put on it, check it to see like in every kind of accessibility feature and option that you can find, because usually that'll help you see things in a different way, and sometimes that's just enough to help you figure out what the thing needs. Like, accessibility is not just, you know, mandatory herder. It's like it makes it better for everyone. Like, I've had professors who are staunchly anti-subtitle, and I don't quite get it because I have some auditory processing issues with my ADHD. So I think that subtitles add to the experience, because especially if you can turn them on or off and you can choose what the design options are, because then, you know, that's another way of experiencing the piece as a whole. And I think the more diversity you have in an experience, the better it becomes. And you know, it's like and it's also like an issue of equity, not equality, too, where some people are like, oh, but some things will only work better for some people and some other things will only work better for others. And that's true. You know, like for some people, they need quiet, and for other people, they need noise, or they need to make noise. And you can't always win them all for everyone, but you can always do your best to accommodate for as many people as you possibly can. Because then you get to communicate your art to a much wider audience. And I think that's something magical about that. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Those trees are incredible, but I think there's something still about the sky now that I'm looking at it. Like, it's still not quite popping in the tritanope form of color blindness. And in all the other forms of color vision, it seems kind of bland now against those trees. Maybe, what can we do? Should we make it lighter? Should we make it greener? Should we make it bluer? Maybe if we added some purple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this. You remember this piece of watercolor paper with the set design we didn't end up using? And we're using the back of it. Let's do some color tests. So there's some purple. And let's put it next to our blue mixture. I want to see what it's like with a bit more purple. Oh. Okay, yes. So I think what I am gonna add some purple there. Oh, let's check it. Let's double check. Let's see how that looks in our app. The purple does add something. I think I'm gonna do it anyway. Still not quite making it pop as much into the tritanope. But let's see if we can make it work. And we don't want it to be too purple because it's a nice sunny day. So let's splash that up. Add some blue. And some more green blue. Let's get it fresh. Oh, that adds some nice variety in there. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm thinking about, there's this episode of Adventure Time where Marceline the Vampire Queen, who eats red, is starving in the middle of like a desert, and Finn the human has to go and find her some red to help her survive. So he goes on this quest and he finds what he thinks is a ruby. Spoilers for the episode if you haven't seen it yet, but he finds what he thinks is a ruby and he goes on this whole big quest to bring it back. And then we bring it back and everyone else is like, dude, that's an emerald. And he's like, what? No, it's a ruby. And then the colors on the screen shift and we find out that Finn the human is red-green colorblind. And that was like a plot point that he could, and like I think that's a fascinating use of color in storytelling right there. That they like physically on the screen it looked blue to people with normal color vision. It looked red to people with normal color vision up until that point, and then the colors on the screen shift to show you what everyone else is seeing and not just what Finn the human is seeing, or at least what Finn the human thinks he's seeing. And I think that's fun. Let's double check with our color vision how this looks. Yeah! Oh, and that pops up so much better on the protanopex and deuteranope forms of color vision too. It's still blending a bit on the tritanope, but I think that's okay because blue and green, like trees are green, sky is blue, and I think those two colors might just blend on that kind of color vision anyway. But I think it's nice. It looks nice because we've varied our tones enough that you can tell the difference for the most part. I think what I'm gonna do is I might use some water and go in here on the edge of our sky. And I'm gonna take a fresh towel and I'm gonna sponge that up. Or maybe I should do the opposite. Maybe I should make the edge of the line like darker. So that it does stand out from each other. Let's add some purple. That looks nice. And I'm trying to make it so that, like, even if the colors don't look too different, the values will here. Because the light yellow of the tops of the trees will stand out much more starkly against the dark, almost violet blue of the tree line. And I think that makes a very nice effect. Let's check it on our app. Yeah! Yeah! You can't see it very well. Let me see if I can turn up brightness, and that'll help. Okay. Well, you can't see it very well on this phone, but like it stands out so well on the protenopex and deuteranope forms of color blindness, and it's working on the tritanope form too. Like the sky and the trees still look like the same color, but it just stands out because of the value differences. I think if anything, it looks worse on the common form of color vision. I wonder if there's a way for me to fix that up a bit. Like, okay. Maybe if I make the underside darker and it's like still green, it'll look good. Oh, dope. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting somewhere there. Yeah. I'm gonna bring in a bit more of that yellow. And I think the yellow looks so good on the red-green color blindness that I'm almost trying to bring it in to the common color vision because it's just good. Oh, whoops. That yellow's bleeding into the sky there. I think I'm gonna stop messing with the trees for now. We'll fix them later, I think. I think it looks good. Oh, whoops. Yellow's bleeding here. And this is usually why we don't do them all together. I'll fix the sky later. What should we do next? Let's do the insides of the fence. Actually, I think what I might want to do is a brief bathroom break. I'm going to put this here, and I will be right back. I won't be very long. See y'all soon. Hey y'all, I'm back. Y'all missed me? I told you I wouldn't be gone long. Okay. I banged my finger on the door coming out of that bathroom. Okay, gotta wipe my hands off here. Alright. So, let's think about this. Let's think about what colors we want to use for the tents. Oh wow, that contrast between the sky and the trees just looks so good. I'm thinking maybe some pinks and reds. Actually, let's pull up our references of the actual fair. I'll bring it over here so you guys can see with me. So let's see. What do our fair tents look like? There's a lot of rides in these search results. It looks like the booths themselves have a lot of reds and some greens actually, and blues. So I think I'm going to use this wide shot of the fair as a whole as my reference because you can see a lot of the tent tops in the bird's eye view. Thanks. Hold on. Let me... I clicked something, but I think it's okay now. Okay. Let's do this. Actually, before we start doing that, I think our sky is dry enough to use our masking pickup. So I'm going to do that just so that we can see what that sky as a whole looks like. Being careful because this stuff can tear up the paper sometimes. Yeah, it tore up some paper. That's alright. Make some nice uniquely shaped ones. I think I was right in that we're going to want to go over the sky again later. Maybe I should have waited to add the purple. That's alright, we know for next time. I'm going to swoop away from the Ferris wheel here so that we don't accidentally get any of that line art up. Oh, beans. Oh, that peeled up a lot. Okay. Maybe I should invest in some slightly higher quality masking fluid. I've got a bottle of the Daniel Smith kind somewhere. I just don't have the correct tool to put it down on the paper with. So gung-ho on these clouds. There's so many of them. Guys, next time remind me to make less clouds. No one's here, but if I say things, maybe someone will. Maybe I'll remind myself. Maybe the ghost of Maeve past will be like, hey, maybe go a little bit less crazy on the masking fluid next time. I like how this one's turning out so far. I can just avoid pulling up too much paper. And I'm trying to like move my pickup towards the center of it because the center of it's white, so it's okay if a bit of the paper tears up. And it's watercolor paper, so it's tough to handle all kinds of things. And I know some people like using tape instead. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Alright, it's all you're always figuring stuff out on the go as you're making it. Well, there sure are white things in the sky. They're almost like clouds. And clouds could be any shape, right? Different clouds look like different things. This fair looks like it's about to have a rainstorm. It's a slightly dark sky and it's oh, honey. No, there we go. Don't want to tear up too much, right? There we go. That actually adds a nice bit of texture to it. Maybe it's not so bad that it's tearing up a little bit of the paper. It's thick paper. It's watercolor paper. It's designed to handle it. Now I like using cold press for my stuff. Because it's got a nice texture on it. It makes me feel inspired. The difference between cold press and hot press is hot press comes out really smooth, And cold press comes out a little bit rough. And I liked a little bit of rough. I'm thinking of maybe getting hot press for the future, like for the animated backgrounds, because then maybe if the paper is smoother, the art will feel like it's less textured, and that might work better for animation. But we'll see. Like versus illustration. And the animation process that me and the intern have decided on is that we both make thumbnails of the composition and we choose which one is best. And then I make a big detailed sketch of it. And then she starts figuring out how to do the next sketch of the characters. And then I make the backgrounds. And for what animation, what I'm thinking that we're gonna do is I make keyframes and like the rough animation, like the tweens and all that. And then she can go in and make the line art and stuff. And do compositing and things. And then when that's all done, I'll go in with my After Effects and I'll edit it all together. And they're going to be very short episodes. They'll only be like they're going to be short, like 5 minutes probably max. Maybe 6. Probably not 11-minute episodes. It's not going to be like television. More like short films. And there's going to be 4 of them. And then if we can get the funding for season 2 and volume 2, then there's going to be, I think, 4 more is the plan. Like 4 episodes per season. If we can get funded. And they're nice little stories too. I don't know if I'm gonna do another stream tomorrow or not. I might hang out with my little sister. I should come up with an actual schedule here. I'm not gonna be doing a stream on Monday or Tuesday because I've got a different animation job going on then. I have to show up to that one in person. But I might do Wednesday. I might do Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Maybe. At least in the morning. Because I like doing art. And I like making a lot of art. And I like doing it here with you guys. I say you guys when there's no one here yet. That's okay. Maybe in the future there'll be some people. I hear that's what happens when you do things every day. And I might do like a quick stream in the very beginning of Mondays and Tuesdays. If you want. And then my boss for that animation job is going on vacation soon. So what we're thinking of doing is I'm going to do the work for that. on these streams while he's away and I can't really work in his little studio. So that while he's away, if he wants to check up on me, see if I'm still working during my work hours, he can see my stream. And I asked him, is this a non-disclosure agreement type situation? And he said, no, you can post this. You can do stuff on stream if you want. And I'm like, cool. That might be what we do later then. And that's not going to be till like near the end of this month though. So. That one's a cool job. It's like frame by frame pencil on paper animation. Like a 1920s, 1930s black and white cartoon style, like if you remember like Betty Boop and Popeye and stuff. Or like Steamboat Willie. Felix the Cat. I'm almost done with these clouds. Peeling them away for a sunshiny day. And I had a like schedule yesterday. I don't have one today. So I can just stay here with you guys for as long as it takes to finish watercoloring this. And let's see what this looks like on our little colors app. Yeah! Oh, that looks fabulous. Oh, I love it. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's pretty. I might not even go over those clouds again. That's just pretty. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll give the whole sky like a slight blue wash. Maybe make it a bit more vibrant. Actually, I think I might do that. And this time I'm gonna mix it right here. So that, because it's just a wash. Making the sky a little more blue. I think the sun's coming from like this direction. So I'm gonna lean into that. This is turning out nice. And let's check with our color app. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Okay. I think that's what we can do for the sky. The sky and the trees still look like the same color in the trinope form of color blindness, but there is so much incredible contrast in the common protenopex and deuteranope forms of color vision that like even in the tritanope form, it like doesn't blend really. Sort of like how when off in the distance you see, like if you're in the mountains and you look off into the skyline and you see like the trees look almost blue, like the same color as the sky. It's kind of what it looks like here. It's almost a cool effect, but it stands out so starkly in all the other forms of color vision. Oh, I've got Hawkfurs here. I went to high school with them. Hi, Hawkfurs. I'm gonna put emojis on them. Hawkfurs. Yeah. I've been good. I've been. Sorry, I didn't notice what you'd said until now. I've been streaming. I've been arting. I didn't notice. Did I notice now? They gave me a big smiley face. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna do red here. I think red looks good. I'm gonna make this tent red. Oh, comic work and art fight. I keep meaning to join art fight. I don't. Oh wow, yeah, that stands out. I've been meaning to do that, but I always forget to sign up for art fight. I'm thinking of joining late this time though. Maybe I'll do some art fight stuff here on stream in the future. Who knows? Double check. Oh well, yeah. So the thing is, so the trees and the sky look basically the same color in the tritanope form of color vision, but the tent stands out so starkly against the trees. Meanwhile, in the protenopex and deuteranope forms of color vision, the trees stand out against the sky, but the tent blends in with the trees almost. Joining late is fine. It's a lot of fun. Okay. All right, maybe I'll do that. Yeah. And I'm gonna. I like seeing what people do on Art Fight though. I might join, and I might put Punk in there, see if like because Punk's a cool character. I like her. She's like we've got Punk right here actually on stream with us. at least the Barbie doll that I customized to make her look almost like Punk. So, and she's here because she's a good reference for what wheels look like for our little Ferris wheel here. It's good to have you here, Daryl. Ah. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Hope you have fun watching me do art. It's like old times. Although back in old times, you were more of like the director, sort of like you came up with all the ideas. You had a lot of good ideas in high school and stuff. I should catch up on your comics too. I haven't been reading them a whole lot, but I see the Okay. So we've got orangey bread here. Let's get a Oh yeah, that looks so good. Oh my god. Oh, it's bleeding. Oh, boop, 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 boop. You gotta be careful of that. And it's okay. Yeah. And I like your art style. It's fun. It's a good. I just haven't been keeping up with a whole lot of things. I'm gonna make this orange back here, and then if my if the interns want to put like some words or something here later, then they can do that. But they'll have a nice like fabric-y background to put stuff on. Yeah. So what I'm doing this for is there's this nonprofit called Clouded Mentalities, and I'm the lead animator for that. Yay! And I'm super excited for that. But what I've been doing is I'm making the watercolor backgrounds for the children's book right now. And then the intern's gonna go in and put the colors down, which I'm making like model sheets and stuff for. And she's gonna add lots of background characters, and this needs to be darker. So use some red to make it darker. But let's use some terracotta too. And I'm excited, and then we're gonna make it a cartoon about mental health and just this kid and his dad sort of like and his friends having it. He's having his adventure with his dad in the first one, but in the second one it's like he's gonna hang out with his mom a little bit. And then in the third one, let's do color check. Yeah, that'll look good in colors. Okay. I'm gonna do this sort of like yellow ochre plus terracotta burnt sienna. Yeah. Thing for the shelf here. But yeah. It is. That is cool. Yes. I'm super excited about being able to work on stuff like that. It's nice. I like it. Okay, and let's add a bit of the darker here. Make it feel more woody. More wood-like. And a bit darker because it's in the shade of the tent. not that dark, because it's not that dark. It's a nice, bright, sunny day. And let's check our colors. Oh, that looks good. That looks good with our colors. Make this one yellowier. And I think the color of this tent might be like a slightly cooler color than this one, so it stands out against the tent. Like maybe not quite green because we've got the trees there, but like yellow maybe, or and I think I want to make this purple, so I'm not going to make this one purple. What app am I using? Oh, let's see. What's this app called? I think it's called like ChromaVision or CVS Simulator. It's a way to mimic like different forms of color blindness, so it covers. We've got the common form of color vision, which is, you've got all your color cones, you can see things the way most people can, and you've got the Prytanopex form of color vision, which is a red green form of color blindness, and the Deuterano form of color vision, which is another form of red green color blindness, but it's a bit worse. You've got colors a bit muddier. And then you've got the Tritanope form of color vision, which is sort of a blue-yellow form of color blindness. And one of the main reasons why I'm using this app is because my boss is actually partially color. The guy who wrote the stories and is commissioning all this is partially colorblind. I think in the Tritanope form of color vision. And I know that there's going to be a lot of different kids who are going to be seeing this, and I want them to be able to appreciate it as well. I'm gonna make this like nice violet purpley color for our mystery tent here. And I'm not like putting in details of what each of the tents are because we're adding that in post. That looks like a good color. Oh, that looks blue on the red green on the red blue forms of color blindness. That's fun. All right. Let's make this tent purple. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you. I forgot to tell everyone what I should have probably said in the beginning, but I forgot to, so that was really good. Yeah, thank you. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. It looks blue on the red green color blindness, but it looks like terracotta almost in the Tritanope color blindness. And I'm using purple here because I think that this is probably like a mystic arts sort of tent, like with the pretty gemstones and whatnot. And that's like the inside a bit darker than the outside. Let's add a bit more of the, there we go. That looks nice. And I'm actually going to swap to my little brush here to do some shadow lines. Yee. So that's the Mystic Arts tent. That looks good in all the forms. And let's make this one actually blue, I think. Like a denim blue. So it feels like the same. Let's mix this blue with that blue. And let's actually use the big brush because it's a big front facing. Actually, no. Maybe we could use our little brush on this one. Add a bit of silver to it. We've got our second little mystic tent here. That doesn't quite look good. Yellow, maybe? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's fun. That's a fun little gradient that we did right there. Makes it look kind of velvety. Oh, and that actually looks purple in the Triton note form of color vision. Fun things happen. Let's use some gold. And bring in some more of that blue here-ish. There we go. And makes the inside like with a bit of yellow ochre. So it's darker, it's more mysterious. Color check. That looks good. That looks good. Bit of purple. Because it's a complementary color to yellow, so it'll make it desaturate in a very vibrant way. I think we went a little too far into the purple here. Oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. And it kind of blends with the trees in the common and red-green color blindness one, but in Tritanope it stands out so well. So there's going to be some parts of this composition that stand out better to some than others. And I think that's okay, you know? Sort of how the cookie crumbles, how the paint turns out. And then we can add some objects in there if we want to later. And then make this ground a bit darker here. Because it's in the shadows. Maybe not that dark. There we go. Yeah. 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 Okay, and I think we want to go orangey on this one. This is probably like a food stand. My boss said that he wanted at least one of these food stands to be selling fried Oreos. Maybe this is that. Or maybe this is that. Who knows? This feels more like a hot dog stand to me, honestly. Maybe like a game booth. So it's gonna be a bit hidden by the characters anyway, because we've got TeeBee's dad and TeeBee right here, so. And they're gonna be added after I scan this in. But I know roughly where they're gonna be. But we might reuse this, so I'm just making it as good as I can in all of this. Because, you know, you can't really rely on things being covered up by characters all the time. I just make it all good. Let's check. It looks pretty good. Got a bit of this to like the edge of it, because it's kind of blending in with its neighbor. I don't know what that is actually. Let's find that out. Hoffer's is agreeing with me that you gotta focus on your backgrounds and make them good. And that you gotta do the same with comic books. Sometimes I can get away with less details because the characters are in the way. Yeah. Same. Like sometimes I'll have like a splash page where, you know, the background is just kind of a reaction to what's going on. Where like, it's like, and you've got like a heart monitor line in the back. It's like reacting to things. And you can get away with that. But I've been trying to do a lot more like focus on set design lately. Because it's important, you know? It gives you a sense of space and place. My girlfriend's obsessed with like set design and establishing shots, which I think is a good thing. She also really likes 2D animated cars. She thinks that there's a life to them that is lost a little bit with 3D. Okay. Color check. Oh yeah, that's better. And they look kind of the same in the deuteranope form of color vision, but that's okay. It stands out really well in common and protanopex and tritanope. So I think you can get away with that. And let's, I think we want to make this one, what do we want to make that one? This color. Yeah, we want to make it this color. I animated a car recently. It took forever, but it ended up looking good. Yeah, cars are tricky. There's so many parts to them. And I think that's why people tend to go 3D with them, because then it's, you know, ooh, yeah, that looks good. Because then, you know, you don't have to do all the parts. But I think that if you make the car really a simple design, then you can get away with it. So I'm going back and forth on whether or not to 2D animate Fairy Space when I finally get around to it. Like, I'm thinking maybe like stylized 3D with 2D effects. And like 2D when it's emotionally important. Color check. Yay, that looks good. That looks good in every form of color vision. Water time. But for TeeBee's Adventures, we're going to go for a slightly more limited style of animation. Like, we're going to do lip syncing, but there isn't going to be much dialogue because there's going to be a narrator. And when the characters are moving, there's not going to be a whole lot of frames. Both is good. Both is good. I think Daryl's referencing like I'm gonna add a bit of green to this. The 2D versus 3D debate there. Because, like, 3D looks really good when it's stylized, but there's something about 2D that just, like, is good. And I also haven't done a whole lot of 3D, so I need to learn. But it's okay. It's always good to learn new things. Color check. Okay, this is interesting. This actually kind of disappears in the Proton effects. Oh, that green shading makes it look yellow. Let's need more blue there. Looks good there. Let's sponge this up. Color check. Yeah, that's better. That's better. I think I want to do a blue or a purple here. Let's do this pinky purple. Maybe this is a game booth. Color check. Alright. That'll work. These three are looking kind of samey in the Trichinope color vision, so I'm going to make this one like this kind of blue to make something stand out of it. Ah, bleed, bleed, bleed. Don't bleed. Oops. add some more color here. Let's make red. Maybe this one. That's slightly better. Color check. That's better. Okay. Make this green, like a yellow green. Not a blue. With yellow insides. Which made it look green. And this, I think, an orangey. Sponge it up. Yeah. Let's add some yellow there. Ah. Sponge. Thank you. Okay. Alright. Hello. Little brush is feeling very bleedy today. Isn't it? Let's be careful here. Let's red. Yeah, looks like this fits. And let's do yellow. There we go. Now color check. What? Nice. These two are still very samey though, in like almost every color vision. Maybe I should go more blue. Color check. Oh, it's less samey. That's good. But now it feels kind of muddled. Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, yeah. I kind of like that effect. Let's make it darker inside. Oh, that's wonderful. That's better. It's a lot better. Yeah, I like that. Water break. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Big stretch. It's important to stretch, everybody. Okay. Now what color is that Ferris wheel? Yellow. Okay. I think we can do that. Yeah. Let's do yellow. Maybe a slightly warmer yellow. Yeah, maybe. Sponge it up. Let's get a brush. Yeah! Oh, that got into the sky. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's get these yellow. Oh, I've got yellow on a brush.
Get some glue on our brush to fix that. There we go. Color check. Yeah, alright. That'll work. That's fine.
Yellow looks good in all the colors though. Let's bring some like orangey red into the top of it. That was red in the reference, so let's do that here. Left right yellow here. Bright red, the orange here. Alright. Yeah. And I think this is bright yellow as well. Let's do orange on the inside. Oh, maybe a bluish orange, like a, yeah. With little bright red flags on the top. And let's add some bright red little flags to the tops of the Ferris wheel carts as well. And
And bright red center.
Color check. Oh yeah, that looks good. And a bright red flag right here on top of the carousel. Let's make these a little bit red too. With some red stripes. Like red in there. Oh, wait, there's little flags here. Let's make those red. And bright yellow. Let's actually do a color test on our yellow because I want it to be really, really bright. No, it's more of a green yellow. So let's do this yellow. I feel like red and yellow are kind of the carousel colors, you know? I'm gonna bring a little bit of blue in here later, but for now. And we might not even see this carousel in the background. That's fine. That's how it happens, how a cookie crumbles. Make some gold yellow. Slightly more orange. Yeah. No. My girlfriend just popped in briefly. I don't quite know what that's about, but that's okay. Maybe she just wanted to say hi. Color check. Okay, so the carousel looks really good in the common and tritanope color visions, but blends in a lot in the deuteranope and protanopex visions. I think that's okay, especially since it's so far in the background that no one's really going to see it. It might even be covered by the characters. And like you can still tell there's a carousel back there, even in like all the color visions. And let's bring in that blue. Maybe that'll make it pop. Yeah, that'll make it pop. And I'm like framing it. Yeah, that makes it stand out. But now I think I need to bring in a bit more. Whoop the dip of this blue in here too, so that it's not just there. Cause that looks real weird in the red green color blindness. I think this is bringing in some more dimension to our trees as well. Like the really yellow tops and the really blue undertones. Oh, come on, make that blue. Thank you. Color check. Oh yeah. Okay. That makes it stand out a lot in like every color vision. The trees from the sky. Like you can't tell those are trees. And the carousel might still be hidden, but that's like it's still kind of being framed by the blue. And it again pops out really nicely in the common and tritanope forms of color vision. And because of the framing, it works well enough in the red green color vision that I'm okay with it. Yeah, I think we're almost done actually. We just need to put some of the brown in here. Let's do a time check. It's 2:09. Okay. Alright. Let's make some brown. I think I might just do all the shells in brown. Just like you. Maybe some silver. Yeah, that makes it feel better. That should definitely be silver. Color check. Yeah. And I think the last thing we gotta do is give these animals a color. And this rope. I think I'm just gonna make the rope brown. I might just make the animals brown too. Huh. I think we're almost done here. I think I want to put a bit more into the ground, maybe. Color check. Yeah, I do want to put more into the ground. That's some nice texture in there. You know what? I think I might want to make this sign black so that it is like a blackboard. Because like it's easy to make something white that it's in like digital, but black I think has a specific texture to it. It doesn't have to be like dark black. It can be like this gray. I think I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. There we go. And I think that grounds it a bit. Color check. That looks really good and Triton though. And now let's do all the others. All right. Wow. I think we're done. Ooh. Look at how beautiful and colorful that is.
Oh my goodness. TeeBee and his papa are gonna have such a good day at the fair. Ooh. Alright.
So I think that's done it for the stream. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.